All right. Well, for everyone on my stream and in Jack's stream, this is my good friend crypt0jack. He twitches or streams on Twitch. Found him a while ago. Kind of that was months and months ago at this point. Now, man, it went fast. He was streaming to almost no one, and I popped in. I was just kind of cruising around, seeing what was on Twitch, and it took me just 5 minutes. I was like, this guy knows what he's talking about. I've been following him since. Great guy, very smart. We have different opinions, probably a lot of the time on price action and things, but you know that's what makes for good conversation. So follow him on Twitch. It's at crypt0jack with a 0 instead of an O. Yeah.
That's right. It. Yeah. Thank you. Good shill. I appreciate the shill. And then just to say the same thing from my side of it, Tom was one of the few who popped in, like he was saying, in the early days when I had like nobody, as a regular viewer or whatever. And Tom would actually engage with like meaningful responses, because you would get people who'd pop in and they're like, you know, do TA on Hex and do TA on Ripple and just stuff like that. And you'd just be like, oh my God, but you know, that's the Dog and Pony show, and you'd pull it up and whatever. But Tom would actually like have good things to say and ask about, you know, momentum and moving averages and this and that. And you're like, okay, thank you.
I was testing you.
Such a refreshing. Yeah, right. This is so refreshing. So anyway, I appreciate that. And we've talked off and on, through the year, I guess, since we started communicating. So I'm gonna link in my chat the link to Tom's YouTube channel. But Tom has, you know, 30-something thousand subscribers, so he's the real deal. So I was very grateful that Tom even stopped by the stream at all, and much less kept contact. And you know, we've had good conversations since. So
back then it was much smaller though. I was only. It was probably like 10,000, maybe less. It was a while ago, man. Really? It was like a year ago now. It was, how fast has this time gone? 2021 started, and it's like, all of a sudden we're halfway through.
Yeah.
Where's the time?
You've also won some BitBoy competitions, by the way. The chat is mixed on whether that's good or bad.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say win. I mean, I love the show. It's my favorite thing BitBoy does. I love the show. It's the people he has on, man. I told you should come on sometime. I'm sure you can. I could definitely put in a good word for you. But he has people and creators of all different sizes. When I was on there once, it was me and Crypto Stash and Crypto Blood, and I've never heard of really any of the people when I had been on before anyway. And I looked them up and I was like, man, these guys are people putting in the work, and they're just not quite at that size yet. And I just have a really deep appreciation for that, giving exposure to all kind of sizes of channels and opinions. So shout out to BitBoy.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, you got to give him love. Anybody who's helping grow, just like, you know, my chat who's been here from the beginning, they know that it's a long road to get from 5 people to, you know, 500 even. And now I think we average about 300 or so now, which I'm not complaining at all, because we'll go and raid somebody who's been at it for literally years, and, you know, in whatever marbles or whatever they're playing, and they'll have 10 people or something, and that's the life of a streamer for a lot of these people. So I think we're in the lucky few.
Yeah, I wish YouTube, if you're listening, YouTube, we need raids. That'd be fun. Although it seems a little trolly. I'm not really a Twitch guy. I have like a Twitch channel. I just don't really use it. Isn't it a little trolly? How does that not get abused? Can you tell me as a Twitch professional?
So it's all in how you use it. Like, we'll go and stream, or we'll raid to people who are desperate for those views. Like, so in marbles, you know, the more people participating, the better. So they're like, they want that. But there may be people, and yeah, it can be used as a troll. If someone's doing something like artistic and they're trying to keep it low key and only have 10 or 20 and try to keep it special, and then you bomb them with 300 people, they're going to hate it. They're going to get really upset about it. So it's all kind of in who your target is. But our goal is always to make people so happy with these raids that they start crying.
Aww.
Like, that's the goal. Like, we win if these guys and girls, whoever, if they start breaking down, they just can't handle it.
A good cry.
Good cry, yeah, because they've got
very
like,
important.
They finally made it. You know, in their mind, they're like, I did it, Mom, I did it.
Oh,
so anyway.
That's heartwarming, man. I would like to do that. That would be nice. But we don't have that over here. I wonder. We were having issues. Let me check YouTube here. Are we good? Is it working? All right, cool. So we're not having the same problems
Okay.
we had yesterday. That's a big plus. It's a big plus, actually. Sweet. Thank you,
Well,
YouTube
good.
gods out there. Awesome. Well, I think
Well,
we finally got through the start. The
we're
setup.
good. I think this works. Again, before we really kick it off, guys, I am live on Twitch, and then Tom is live on YouTube. Each of us are spamming the URL, so feel free to watch neither one. But Tom's legit. Tom, if you don't mind, I would like for you to kick things off and just give us the rundown on like where do you see things now? Where do you think it's going? And you can punt if you're somewhere in the middle and you're kind of just watching. That's fine. It's no gun to your head or anything. Just kind of help us see whatever you see right now.
Yeah, sure. Well, I think YouTube might have not liked me having your Twitch link in the video. Oops. It did something it's never done before, but I think we're good. All right, cool. Sorry guys, everyone, we've been having so many weird problems actually just this month, so I'm a little paranoid, but we're good. So obviously Jack and I have different opinions. Jack's is probably the more popular opinion right now, but I will say Jack was saying this before it was popular. Yeah, I'm looking at the chart and there's really no way to cut it. The chart doesn't look good, and we haven't had really too much price action to me that's meaningful. I guess we had May 19th, super meaningful. We had that low, and then the 22nd, we broke that low. We went a little lower, and honestly, all I see here is stop hunting. We're seeing sideways trading, stop hunting. I don't see any new, everyone wants that new piece of information that's going to give us the answer, and I just don't see anything right now. So if we take a zoomed out look, chart looks bearish. It does not look good. We do have a little daily bullish divergence. Cool. We don't have the follow through yet. I think what we've seen in the last maybe 48 hours is the first glimmer of hope. We've seen some of our indicators, some of our time frames starting to shape up and look better than they have really since the drop in May. So in that sense, because I don't think we've really seen anything that gives us a new edge, I'm still looking for the same thing. I had high hopes for July, and unfortunately that's clearly running out of time for like July 21st. But I'm looking for the same thing I have been. So Jack's audience probably not too familiar. And that is a test of that 20 weekly moving average. We can pull it up on my chart here. My audience, I'm sure, is sick of hearing about it, but too bad. Let's deal with it. And there we go. Boom. Ooh, that is curled down. That looks... So we have a new week. Yeah, new weekly started last night, obviously, and that 20 actually has started to move to the downside, which is not really what I'd like to see. But that gives us our target has moved a little bit. Maybe instead of I was looking for 48.8 originally, now is looking at like 47. That's still pretty much right where right where I was looking, basically. There's a lot of reasoning, I think, behind it. This price level just seems attractive. If we do our logarithmic retrace, I guess not as much anymore with this new weekly, but it's sitting right at that 618 level, the golden retrace level. That's where we're always looking, essentially, on any move, is to see a counter move back in the other direction to the 0.5, or ideally the 618. So that'd be like 43 to 47.5, that range. We don't have it yet. We don't have it yet. I think we're really range bound still. The weekly is very, very descriptive of that. See these weekly closes and opens establishing what is just a floor, basically, and we're range trading till we break. That's pretty much how I see it at this point.
Okay. I like it. Where do you see us, or do you in your predictions, do you have like a 6 month, 1 year, anything like that, or is it really all come down to whatever happens with that retest of the 20 weekly?
Yeah, so I really do think the 20 weekly is going to be what defines the rest of this year. That's how I see it. If we're talking big picture, there's very little that's going to change for my views long term, meaning multiple years or something. That 20, though, depending on how price reacts, and I really do. If you look back on the Bitcoin chart, every bear market has started with losing the 20 weekly and then back testing it. You can look back on BLX, you can see it over and over and over again. So I'm very confident we're going to. Now that we're seeing it slope down, the longer we stay sideways, that price target's going to come down with it too, unfortunately. But if we see a harsh rejection, let's say, so maybe a move up, this is on the weekly, so it can't draw right. There you go. See a move up to that level and then just a smash down. I think it'll be validated by breaking our low again. So breaking that 30,000 level. That's going to be, for me, a pretty bad forecast for the rest of the year. That would be not attractive, not attractive looking at all. And it would remind me of many Bitcoin events, such as right before March 2020. You know, we have that back test. This is on the daily of the 20 daily, but really that same kind of failed rally, and you really see sellers. You really see sellers when that happens. So I'd be a little bearish. That would turn me a little bearish.
Okay. All right, I feel that. What about on the lower time frames? Let's say on the hourly, 4 hour, anything like that. Is there something that you keep an eye on? Like, do you watch? You know, some traders like to watch what the RSI is doing. Some people are like, well, I want my moving averages to do XYZ. Some are cloud-based. Some are fib retracement gurus. Like, is there anything that you prefer to look at?
All of the above. All of the above.
Okay.
I say this a lot. I don't think that there is one way to do TA, because I have seen people do it in, you know, using tools or theories or schematics that I just don't really believe work. And I've seen them come up with the same conclusions that I do through a different path. So I really like to keep it flexible in that sense. I'll use anything. You know, even if people in the chat are like, hey, what about this indicator? I'll throw it up on the chart and try to interpret it. It's all using the same data. It's just showing it to you differently. So it really comes down to how you interpret it, I think.
Okay.
But I'm a fan of MACD, RSI, Ichimoku, moving averages. I don't use exponential moving averages as much. I don't really have a reason, I guess. I like the regular ones. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. I have a good friend who lives and dies by the simple moving average, the SMA, and we go toe to toe on, like, I am EMA maximalist, he's SMA, and we go back and forth and back and forth. Mm-hmm. And he'll see breakouts I don't, and I got to give it to him, like stuff I wasn't even paying attention to. And then I'll see stuff he didn't. But in this chop, I have found this in this little just straight sideways period. He has seen more breakouts than I have, or at least earlier than I have, because the SMA lines break, you know, before the EMAs a lot of time. So
yeah, anyway, that's a great example though. You know, your friend uses SMA, you use EMA. They're both right. You know what I mean? They're both correct in my mind. It's hard to conceptualize that, because I think every trader, and especially new traders, they want the answer. You know, what's the answer? How do I do this? You know, how do I do this consistently, definitively? And that's a really hard question to answer, for sure. It's because everything seems to work sometimes. Nothing works every time. So it's more about learning when to use what, I think, even is a good way to put it.
Another thing I like to say too is, like, somebody asked about GAN fans, and I'm just screwing with it. That's what you see on my chart. But that's kind of interesting though. I've never actually played with them.
I haven't either, really
well. That's funny.
There you go.
Anyway, yeah, like, just like that is really interesting to me. The only thing I was going to say is to your comment about, like, okay, well, what should you, like, what's the best thing to use, etc. Markets are efficient. Markets always evolve. They always change. As soon as one thing starts being like what works, you better believe that the market's going to pick. Yeah, the market's going to pick up on it, and that's it. You're done. So 100%. You have to kind of have at least a little bit of understanding on all kinds of things. Like, I remember in 2017, the TD sequential, the like time delay stuff.
God.
Remember how big that was? Like, and Tone Vays was shoving it.
Tone Vay was crazy about it.
The hit rate was crazy. It was actually working out, like on daily and weekly, etc. This cycle, no. You know, the 20 weekly, that was another big one.
That was a big one. And this cycle, 20 weekly, that's what I was just talking about. Like,
yeah, right.
everyone was looking for a bounce. I was looking for a bounce off of it after October. And then everyone started looking for it. Not that I invented it. There were other people. But it's really whenever too many people start looking in one direction, it's always going the other direction. I think it applies in up or down scenarios. Elon Musk is a good example. Everybody was, Elon Musk tweets, things go up or things go down. And then now we're seeing that's not really playing out. Elon Musk tweets, nobody cares anymore. I think Wyckoff is the next one. What do you think?
But
I think it is.
I'm seeing it not really used properly. And so I still have hope in it being, always. But I'm seeing, like, even in this range, even in this early on, and I'm going to use on TradingView, if you don't know, guys, I know Tom knows this, but if you viewers don't know what this is, I'm going to go use the replay tool, which kind of sends us back in time a little bit. So it's like as if we were looking at chart data from June 15th, and I had so many people send me this, and with this labeled as a spring. And I don't know how many streams I spent saying, and because, there was this nice rally, this nice follow right behind it. Oh, sorry, hold on. All right, from my chat. Okay, so there was this rally and this little follow through break to the upside. And, everyone's like, oh, no, this was the spring. This was the spring. And so we had this whole argument about, no, you got to understand what Wyckoff accumulation is all about. Springs are about scaring people and breaking new lows and, blah, blah, blah. This could be a W bottom or something, but it's not a spring. Like that violates the idea of what a spring is actually all about. So anyway, all that being said, I'm still seeing, even with the current price action, I'm still seeing lots of people labeling things. Now the spring label has been moved to here. And that's better. That's better. And I think
it's possible.
That's the strongest argument to accumulation that I've seen is this. So now I'm like, okay, maybe. But here's my comma but to that, and this is where I get a lot of flack for this, but the idea of a spring is that the whales have shaken out retail. They have moved it from weak hands to strong hands, right? Like that's the idea. And if we go look at like some of these on-chain metrics, or we look at even sentiment, the sentiment is even now like buy the dip. The on-chain metric stuff, I show this a lot, pretty much every stream. But this is my Glassnode stuff. Let me move my face real quick. And I want to break this down, Tom, because I want to get your opinion on this. Because this directly counter trades guys like Willy Woo, okay, who have been very loud about, oh, don't worry, the whales are buying and that kind of stuff. So let me break this down. I'm going to turn off. I have an orange line, a yellow line, a McDonald's yellow line, a whale blue line, and a price line that's in white. So I'm going to get rid of the yellow line to start with. What this is number of addresses with 1,000 Bitcoin or more in them. And as price started going parabolic, this is at like 35, 40, going up into 50, 60. As we got up in there, I mean, the number of wallets with 1,000 Bitcoin also went parabolic. And then during our quote distribution period, right, you could see there was a significant decrease. And if we zoom way out, there was such a significant decrease that we're down to a level of, now again, these are just individual wallets. Maybe this could change overnight, whatever. But we're down to a level where when the price was at $8,000 to $9,000, that's when there were this many wallets. So every new wallet that's been added since $9,000 has been lost, which is like very concerning to me. So let's just pause there and show you retail. Retail wallets have been doing nothing but climb. In fact, as the prices dropped, and these are I call these retail wallets, but they're with 0.01 Bitcoin or less in them. Okay. So the number of wallets with 0.01 Bitcoin or less has climbed, has absolutely shot up. And, in the last day or two, we had a little bit of a drop, but these guys bought the dip. These guys bought the spring.
It's interesting.
We overlaid, right. And so now let me overlay it. And if the whole idea of Wyckoff distribution is about whales selling to the weak hands. So the strong hands getting rid and selling it to, they're passing the torch, passing the ball to the retail guys. You can see the retail guys are still fighting it. They hadn't got with the program yet. Meanwhile, the big boys have been out since the 50s and 60s and done nothing but continue to sell. That's how I interpret this data. Now, that completely flies in the face of Willy Woo's. This chart that he put up, it got 5,000 likes in less than a day. Okay, so everybody saw this chart. This chart is a different metric. Mine is number of wallets with X number, and his is supply held by wallets with a balance of, so it's a different metric. It's supposed to somewhat be the same thing, but it is a different view. So I do have to kind of like put that up there and say that maybe that explains it. But you can, like, according to his data, whales have bought the absolute hell out of it, and they're continuing to moon. Like the insinuation is we're going to the moon, buy the dip, we're going to the moon. But I'm not seeing that on this side. Now let me show you this too, Tom.
Hey, before you change, I was gonna say go back before you change the screen. Go back. I'm curious to see kind of maybe what 2019 at like 14 was, and then I'd be curious what maybe October 2018, kind of like those big kind of market flips. That would be interesting to see that data.
Let me show you this one because it's pronounced super easy to see. 2017 into 2018. Because that one was striking to me. All right, so as price is going parabolic, we're up to $6,000. The whale wallets are decreasing, and again, the retail wallets are absolutely skyrocketing. So this correlation, this is the real death cross. This is what I tell my chat. This is the real death cross. This is when you start saying, okay, all right, now I get it. Now it takes a few days or a couple weeks or whatever after, but that's when you need to start getting real serious about things. And then if I go into, remember the 6K bounce where Bitcoin just kind of 6 to 12, 6 to 9, 6 to 7, 6, 6, 6, and then it finally just dropped, right? So here's how the whales handled that. So here, white line is price bouncing on 6, and it dunked. They picked it back up. Now I'm trying to show the parabolic top in 2017, and then that drop. And you can see this is a sign. This is the strength I want to see. I want to see big boys going ham on it. And then as soon as they're starting to show that they're trucking, now I'm in. I don't care that retail is going straight parabolic. And let me bring this to current. Again, here's where we are today, and here's retail still fighting it.
Could you get rid of the get rid of the current 20 up and look at? I'm curious February to March, because a lot of things of 2020. All
right, yeah. February to. There's March to December right there.
Okay.
March.
Interesting, because this, because I'm following you on all this, but then in this example, we see that really low, that 3,800 crash, and whales don't look as interested. They even are maybe the ones crashing, but look at retail wallets there. And this doesn't negate, this doesn't negate what we just looked at, but this is the opposite. We saw retail bought the bottom.
Yeah. So
that's pretty interesting.
They don't always get it wrong. In fact, back at the 2018, the breakdown, when we fell to 3 or 4K, retail went hard too.
Yeah.
But everybody went hard. The whole premise of Wyckoff though is that retail can do whatever they want, and they're like the kids in the playground. They're there, and you got to kind of keep your eye on them and whatever. But they don't actually change anything. Everyone wants to think that this is Wall Street bets and we're all going to moon, just like, GameStop and the whole deal. But at the end of the day, the real money, if real money is not playing, then we don't go anywhere. And that's my whole premise.
Yeah, I need to look into this stuff more. That's really cool. And I am also very thankful that March in 2020, we didn't see the exact same thing, the whales going down and retail buying up right before. I'm happy we have some counter kind of information there. Something I think though that I do look at Glassnode. I have like a Into the Block subscription. I look at CryptoQuant. Something I've always wondered, and I love your kind of your ideas on this, is so we look at this data that says, okay, wallets with 0.01 or less, and then we look at wallets with 1,000 or more, something like that. So
Right.
those metrics, while I get there's going to be some natural kind of equilibrium between what I'm about to say and what we see, those metrics, though, how easy would those be to abuse? So say I have 1 million Bitcoin, I could just put them, 1 in 1 million wallets.
Yeah.
Obviously, that is a crazy
Right.
example, but if I'm a whale, what incentive really do I have to keeping everything in one wallet? And I would argue none. There's really no incentive there. And then that kind of also
Right.
on the other end of that is, so say I have old addresses, which I have dozens, thousands of maybe, where I've spent Bitcoin and I'm left with dust. Are those being counted in those 0.01 or less wallets? Because if they are, that metric should probably always trend up, right?
I think this is greater than or equal to 0.01, and that's at the subscription level I'm at. That's the lowest I can see. I think if you're the top level, like what Willy Woo has, see how he has this T3 kind of up at the top. That gives him access to more stuff. I'm only tier 2 because I'm not going to pay whatever it is, like 1,000 a month or something crazy.
I'm not paying.
What is? Yeah, 700 annually. I'm good.
Oh, annually? Annually, that's not
annually.
bad. That's not bad.
That's not as better than I thought. I actually thought it was monthly, but it's annual. So the best I do is because to your point. Well, what if people are just moving metrics and like they're playing with just the 1,000 wallets or just the 10,000? So what I try to do is just to kind of get a big view of kind of what's going on. Is I'll go all the way through it. So like right here, these are the 10,000 wallets with price overlay. Price is in white, and then the 10,000 wallets with 10,000 or more are in orange, right? And then I click through and I say, okay, there's 10,000, there's 1,000. Here's 100. Here's 10. So if I can make a case for like, all right, look, 10,000, 1,110 are all dropping, then like that to me kind of adds fuel to my fire of kind of what my thoughts are. And then bonus points if the smallest, the 0.1 and 0.01 are actually going up or late to sell. Like we've been seeing, the 0.01, like that's why I kind of joke around that this is the McDonald's crowd. That's why I have them in the yellow. Like these are the guys who are buying the dip because they're calling their boss up. They're quitting their job today. They bought $34,000 Bitcoin. It's going to the moon. Everyone knows it's going to 200,000. Easy decision. That's kind of the joke with these guys.
Yes.
But I'll also check out the Ethereum ones too, and it's all the same trend. Like that's what's fascinating.
Yeah, that is actually really. Sorry, I got distracted. Jason Casper, super chatting $100. He's another streamer. We were just chatting
Nice.
today about collaborating. I don't know what you're up to, Jason. Jump on. I don't think we're technically savvy enough to make that happen in real time.
think
But
we
dude, thank you
break
for the generous $100, my friend. Good to have you here. Shout out to Jason Casper.
Good deal. Well, what do you think? I'm gonna switch it back to your screen. What are you
What
thinking?
think? I have your screen up, so you switch to my screen. It's gonna be your screen. What am I thinking? So, hey, I was interpreting. I was following you. I'm ADD. That super chat distracted the crap out of me at the end there.
That's okay.
I think
That's a
that
good
these metrics are definitely important. I think they have value, and I'm probably gonna look into that tier 3. 800 a year isn't crazy. I was thinking like 1,000 a month, like you originally said, to be honest. But I think that actually falls back really elegantly with what we were just talking about Elon Musk or CME gaps or death crosses or whatnot. Is I think the more people paying attention to any kind of specific data, the more, and maybe that is the answer to what I said, is the more it will get abused, which makes it less reliable.
Yeah.
It's kind of a positive feedback loop until no one's paying attention to it again, and then maybe it becomes important. Something I need to look into more.
So,
I browse. I really look
well-
mostly at flows, net flows, spot exchange net flows, total stablecoin net flows,
Okay.
etc. I haven't looked at as much wallet data, probably because I've always thought, man, well, how many wallets is Tom Crown in that metric? Hundreds. Like I have so many wallets with just not, wallets I've forgotten about that have nothing in them because it was, less than a transaction fee left, like a penny, and that's being counted somewhere. That's somewhere that's being counted by something.
Well, and to counter myself, I have friends that counter trade me, and I think that's we talk about battle testing ideas, and I think that's how it should be. Like I'll propose an idea, my buddy says no, I disagree, and here's why, and we kind of slug it out until we come to kind of like a collaborative conclusion. And one of the things he said is, okay, he's like, Jack, I love your data, and I love the Glassnode stuff. That's awesome. So show me in that data where Sailor bought $1 billion worth of Bitcoin.
Same question.
Okay. Now I was like, no, you got me. You got me. Because I can't do that. I don't. And he's like, okay, well, show me where Elon bought, for Tesla. And I'm like, no, it's a fair point.
And then sold.
I have no counter to that.
Yeah, then sold some for Tesla. And, those things should be reflected in those metrics, right? Obviously, they're not going to have a little name tag next to them. It says, this is Michael Saylor. But they should be in those metrics. And I've never really heard people talk about that. I think when people acquire Bitcoin OTC, not in an exchange, outside the exchange, they're probably going to do it along the lines of what I was saying with why would you do it all in one batch? Why would you have it in one wallet? They're incentivized to keep it more under the radar. And I say this about almost everything in crypto in general, is if you don't have to make something visible. So I like to use the example of a limit buy order. If you're a mega whale and you put up a $100 million limit buy order or something, right? Why are you making it visible? You don't have to, because they could, you have $100 million, you're going to be algorithmic trading. You're not doing this yourself. You have the exchange's help. You could have an invisible order there. So if it's visible, why? Why? What's the reasoning?
It's game. I always see that as gamesmanship. If I can see it, you're trying to do the opposite. You're trying to influence me to believe something. Like, so if I see a $100 million buy order, you're selling. Like you're straight. You're trying to shove price up or give them confidence or something, and I'm out.
100%.
I don't know.
I think it's something that is really hard to get into your head, especially as you're starting trading, is everything that's visible is likely a trap. There's going to be 1-2 times when it's not, and certainly. But if you can see it, it's probably there for a reason. Unless there's no way around it, which, would be maybe total wallet addresses or something. There's no way to hide that.
Right.
It's hard to come up with examples, to be honed.
Okay, so let me ask you this really quick. And by the way, my chat's asking me that my buddy who made that comment about Michael Saylor, he's in my chat. It's R Runner. So he loves to kind of poke holes in some of my bearish theories because he is not leaning bearish like I am.
Good. He's a good man, that R Runner.
All right, so let me ask you this, Tom, because this may be something you're more kind of like you've thought about often. You're kind of equipped and ready to answer. So somebody pointed this page to me literally yesterday. I've never pulled it up except for last night and then this morning. And it's a type of sentiment analysis or a view into first open interest but also what is retail, what are the top traders, which way are they leaning, short, long, etc. How do you think this kind of data is used? Can it be used to kind of predict what's next, in a move? And, hey, we're gonna head up because everyone's short or whatever.
That's a good question. So a great site for that I use is bybt.com. It's not Bybit, just sounds like it if you were to say it out loud. I don't know if you use that, Jack. Has a lot of that long versus short stuff. It has a lot of great data. I'm not saying it's the mecca of good crypto data, but they've done a good job keeping up with grayscale holdings, with long versus short traders, whatever, top traders. I do look at it from time to time, especially if you see maybe a large rally or a large dump. I like to go look and see, hey, are those traders now, those top traders in the last 4 hours, since I've started, are they long or short? Honestly, it's almost always like 50-50. So I've struggled to find a use for this information. It's almost always 50-50. I have it on the daily on mine right now by BYBT. This isn't
Okay.
top trader. That's long versus short. Top positions.
I have your screen pulled up, so
Binance top. It really ranges. I guess Binance is actually now 60% long. Huh. That's not great. I don't use it much. Personally, I don't use it much. I'll say that.
No,
I do not use it a lot. Yeah, I don't use it a lot. It's interesting because that's something that would be harder to hide. You know what I mean? If the exchanges are making that data public, they actually have to make those positions, right? Unless the exchanges BSing us, you know, and giving us bad data, tricking us. Not something I look at all the time, to be honest. I definitely do like to see kind of the general market. If I go to the home page here, is this not working? Dude, what's happening? My computer's getting angry with me at having all these screens full screened. Keeps kicking me out of full screen. All right, there we go. I do like to look kind of quickly when I go to BYBT and just see exchange to exchange, which pair are they trending on the short side today or the long side. That's about it when it comes to that. Funding rate. How do you feel about funding rates? There we go. How do you feel about funding rates, my friend?
Oh, I gotta treat it all the same. You know, I lump it all into the bucket. If everybody's leaning one direction, but kind of market wide, then I'll usually fade it.
Yeah.
But here's the
funding's mega negative right now. Yeah, that doesn't bode well for you.
No, it doesn't. I will say this for your streamers. I mean, for your viewers. My viewers already know this, but I'm not a day-to-day trader. I don't do day trades. I don't intraday trade. That's not my style. I look for a trend, and I go hard on the trend. So at 9 or 10K, I was long. At 58K, I was out. And then I played a couple dips, and that's it. Like, I could count with using both hands the number of trades I've made since the top. And I'm good with that because I am in protect my cash. And that's kind of like where I'm at until the trend turns around. Kind of like you were talking about the 20 week, there's a number of them that I'm watching. And if we can get kind of above that and get the train kind of turned around, I'm in like on margin, but, until then,
absolutely, dude. It's funny because
I don't play with it.
I knew Jack when I first stumbled into his stream. I knew that he had been in crypto a long time, and the reason is we all have kind of very similar ideas. It's interesting. So right now we're maybe on different sides of the fence, right? But you and I both, you can say I can count on my one hand how many trades I've made. People who are in crypto a long time aren't trading 20 times a day. Because they probably wouldn't be in crypto anymore. They probably would have lost all their money already. I think the more you're in this space, the more value you see in kind of observing and waiting. And we have a different approach. Mine is I just wait in my coins. Jack waiting in his fiats, dirty fiats. But I respect it.
Scrooge McDuck over here.
But it's interesting. We're doing similar things. And you know what? One more thing that I could tell is, I guess this didn't apply then, but when you're in crypto a really long time, I've been just historically bullish always. And that's not really what the market does. But you and I have different opinions, and we can sit here and talk. And new traders find that impossible. If they're bullish, someone else is bearish, instantly they're fighting. They're mad at each other. Guys, it doesn't matter what other people think the market's going to do. Doesn't matter what I think or what you think the market's going to do. It's going to do it. It's going to do it anyway. And someone else telling you, oh, this is, it's bearish or it's bullish. Don't let that upset you. Yeah, we're all here on Team Crypto. Like it's silly.
Factor it in. Make your own plan. Mm-hmm. You don't never just follow what me or some random people on the internet say or suspect. Like, you got to come up with your own plan. You got to do what's good for you. And maybe if my life situation was different and I didn't have a family and work a day job and the whole deal, maybe I would trade in the day or something. But I know that if I take my eye off of things, like what happened to people yesterday, a lot of people went long as things started looking really good yesterday.
Did.
Bitcoin was over 35. Here we go. It's going to the moon, blah, blah, blah. And then in an instant, you could have gone up to go pee and come back and it was done. Or maybe you had a meeting at work, or maybe you're with your wife or kids or something and you missed it. So it's really like you just gotta make your peace with what the reality is. Find the style of trading that's best for your situation. For me, it's multi-week, multi-month trades. That's what I look
Same.
for.
This is the exact same concept. I do mine, of course, in like against Bitcoin and Bitcoin pair, which new viewers really, I guess this is like something new people just don't understand or learn about at all anymore. That used to be the way things were. But I do the same. I do long-term swings, and I'm not saying this is what you at home should do, but when it goes under, I'm not on leverage. I don't sweat it. You know, I keep my positions small, especially I like to pair them with maybe the perceived risk. If I jump into baby Doge today or something, yeah, the most I'm going to invest is $20. You know, if that goes to zero, a boo-hoo. You know, there goes. Yeah, what can you even buy with $20 anymore?
Nothing.
I can't name anything that's like $20. Yeah, some milk.
1 gallon of milk. The end.
Yeah, right.
Some bread. That's good. Okay, so you know, we're talking about futures data, stuff like that. I want to get your opinion on this. Have you heard some of the whisperings of Binance and some of the issues that they're having with regulators?
Yeah, man. You know, right before this episode, I was kind of rushing up on my news, which I do every day, but I wanted to be just in the mindset so I get ready. You know, this has been kind of nagging at me now for a while. This is not a new feeling today. But yeah, I'm not a fan of what's going on with Binance and specifically the UK. You know, I don't view really anything that's been said so far as catastrophic or even potentially catastrophic. But I don't like kind of the direction it's going. I saw today some UK banks are shutting down like deposits or withdrawals or whatever from Binance, like essentially cutting Binance off from them. And Binance is now being kind of chased by many different countries, maybe. I don't like that direction.
Yeah.
Certainly not a bullish direction.
No. Well, and all I was going to say, not to cut you off, but
no, go ahead.
That, like multiple countries like pinged off and they're like, their headquarters isn't here. It's not here. It's not here. It's not here. And so it's like they're hunting some entity is trying to pinpoint where Binance is officially headquatered. And they're not doing that just for funsies and go have a tickle fight, you know? Like there's something going on. That's kind of my read.
And you know, this is actually right along those lines. I haven't confirmed this myself yet, but I have heard some rumorish things. Bybit moving to KYC. Have you heard anything about that?
Ooh,
yeah, no. That I don't like either. That's part of I don't like that sliding. Dude, I believe it too. Because the second the SEC decides that I don't know, the minute they see you, really, you either do what they say or you're done. You just disappear. There's no in between. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It is just like that. I've seen many exchanges go from great, you know, like very legit business. Like one broker comes to mind, super legit exchange. Loved it. It was the best exchange that existed at the time, in my opinion. SEC jumped on it, and within, I don't know, it was like days, it was just gone.
Yeah,
and
that was it.
Don't get afraid at home, guys. Like I said, they're very legit. Everyone got their withdrawals. No money was lost. So if this does happen to you, you know, the SEC goes after Binance or anything, it's not like you're going to lose your money. Like, I can't promise you won't, but that's not their goal. Their goal is to essentially shut them down or whatnot to protect investors. And in that sense, they make it so you get your collateral back.
Right.
Don't freak out at home if you heard that. But I don't like that direction. You know, what I'd like to see now is CZ make a public appearance, right? And just get up to the microphone and say, Binance's servers are located on the blockchain, and then just drop a smoke bomb and he's gone, and no one ever sees him. No one ever finds the headquarters. And it's just like all smart contracts somehow. That'd be great.
One day.
One day. Right, one day. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen with that? I wouldn't really worry about like a rug pull or anything from the company because I've never seen it happen when the SEC is involved. I've never seen like that rug pullish thing happen. Those happen before the SEC gets to them typically.
I'll tell you what I have seen, and I know none of my viewers would do this because you are all God-fearing, good, you know, listen to your government, follow all the rules, nice people.
Same.
But, yeah, and everybody on Tom's side too. But if God forbid, somebody who VPN'd into Binance constantly to make trades, there have been instances, like there is grounds where an exchange would suddenly go KYC. And then if you had used some method of getting around their geofence, they'll say, it suddenly becomes very difficult to get your funds back. So if that is a game you want to play, if you still want to, you just have to have your fix on those kind of, whatever the coins are there. Just please be careful and limit what your potential loss could be. That's it. I'm not saying like panic sell and pull everything out or whatever, but be smart.
Dude, that's where that hits though. So I will say I've never heard of that scenario happening. I've always, in my experience and in what I've heard, people have always been able to withdraw. Because it's essentially theft then. Yeah, they say you can't have your own asset. It's not impossible. Certainly it is not impossible. But what you said at the end there is 100% accurate, no matter what happens, is you don't know Binance. You don't have the keys. They're not, you don't have control here. So you should never, even if this wasn't a question, never have more than you're comfortable losing on an exchange, period. If you're going to, good luck. I would hope maybe you're looking at something like Coinbase, like a US, very regulated, tight kind of business. But man, that applies no matter what. If you have 100% of your portfolio on an exchange, prepare to lose it. It's not as if it's guaranteed to happen to you, or maybe even statistically likely, but you're risking 100% of your assets then. They are at risk on an exchange.
Yeah, not your keys, not your Bitcoin.
The new people, they've never seen it. They see the rug pulls on like Binance Smart Chain, but they haven't been around to see these exchanges get shut down or these exchanges get hacked or whatever. It happens, and no one ever thought it would be them. So if you're sitting there thinking that one happened to you, that's what everyone thought.
They're gonna learn. You're gonna learn.
Mt. Gox's still being settled. I don't know if it's ever gonna settle. It's been like a decade.
So I'm gonna hit you with some TA. Well, it's not TA. It's a what if.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna hit you with a what if.
Let's do it.
So obviously I'm leaning bearish, right? Like this is I don't really hide that. But let's see. All right. What if
if you click that top right button on your trading view, you can get rid of that entire block of. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now your screen is like a jumbo screen.
Oh my God, you're so smart. Okay, I like this. This is much better. Okay. What if we see something like, let's see if I can paint this picture. All right, right now we have whale wallets did like this and they're dropping. We have retail doing the opposite. It basically went up and they're kind of like floundering around. What if price drops back to, call it whatever, 20K, the prior cycle high, even 15, even
13,
I'm going to say
6.
this, even 9.
How come 9? I'm just curious, because I would say like 10.5 would be where I would look in that range.
Because if the whole concept is to get whales to scare retail, what better way than to say Bitcoin fell under 10K, like in a headline.
Yeah, four
CNN,
digits.
Fox News, yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, spooky.
From 6 to 4 digits. Get out now. Get out while you can. Something like that, right?
I'd be buying just both hands.
Quickly, right?
Oh yeah.
And then the actual super cycle that everyone's been waiting on. The whales start taking off. Retail's capitulated and then catch up again. And to me, this makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it makes sense too.
To me. Not that I'm hoping for it. I'm genuinely not, because like I told my chat, if we can make another leg up, I can start having that conversation about early retirement and stuff like that. So it is to my advantage. And I don't short Bitcoin. That is my personal rule.
Good.
I will not ever short Bitcoin. The most shorting I'll do is move to cash and in an attempt to make a significant percentage gain. But I'll never just open a short somewhere. So all that being said, if we retake the 20-week and just go for it, by all means, do it. But just as a story, just as a tale as old as time and crypto kind of thing, it would just be so apt be so perfect to see something like this up to 100K without retail. Retail misses the boat. And they're so burnt by this move that they don't even buy till we're back above the all-time high again.
Yeah. What do I think about it? I think,
What do you think? What do you think?
the idea of it, in the sense of, you know, four digits and fear, and like, yeah, I mean, that's very Bitcoin, right? Whatever it takes to scare people. That's what I always say. Yeah, I mean, that is something that is possible for sure. I could see it happening. You know, I'm pointing at your screen. This 3,000 crash last year. Nobody saw that coming. And it's what scared everybody.
The
I think,
COVID, whatever?
I think that's actually likely the reason that we saw so much explosive growth into 2021 is because we got that
100%.
sell-off. That sell-off was such a blindside. Yes, some people were bearish, you know, like, oh yeah, it's going to go down. But nobody I know the next day was like, oh yeah, I knew it was going to 3,800. Like, no, everyone's thinking like 5, 6. Yeah, I will say I did not hear a single person. No one. You'll hear it now. People will say that, oh yeah, I knew it, but like, nah, nobody knew it. Nobody knew it in the time. No, nobody did. They're full crap.
Right. This circle is where the majority of my funds were entered for the cycle.
So look, wait, don't move your chart. Leave it right there. What moving average is that?
I have the 20-week pulled up.
And what
So
happened?
I got you
And what
baited
happened?
on the breakout?
Yeah, what
On
happened?
the breakout of it.
Lost
So
the
we broke
20?
down,
We lost
the
it,
20.
and then we back tested it.
And we back tested it, and in fact, we spent an entire year memeing at this 10K line, like just rim jobbing it until we finally broke out. And this was the real signal. There's guys like, do you know? Surely you know Josh Olszewicz and Carpe Noctem and all them, like whatever, all his monikers. But he uses this cloud metric style, and this was his enter. This was when he was told to enter right here.
Oh, that was
Using
our
this
entry.
little deal.
20 weekly,
That's
baby.
awesome.
20 weekly,
That's
right there.
awesome. That's great. Like, so it's the 20 week. It was multiple moving averages crossing. Like, it was check. No matter what your trade style was,
Yep.
send it, right? But you know, this was me, and I'm like Spider-Man behind the desk as we nuke down, and I'm 50% underwater on spot on not insignificant funds. But it didn't bother me because I knew the story. You know, hey, we got halving. Halving was like kind of in this area right here. You know, I'm not worried about it. It's going to rectify itself. Here we go. This is where things get a little dicey for me personally. Is yeah, I could buy. Yes, I could. You know, play some kind of maybe breakout or whatever. But we don't have that halving coming right up. Like that was on everybody's mind, and there was scary stuff all before it.
Oh,
Like, so
death
what's
spiral.
the
Death
next
spiral. Miners will stop. The
Yeah,
prices down. Everyone will stop mining. That's such a gibberish. We don't have to get into it. Such a gibberish
Get that
fun.
out of here.
Right. You know, that 10.5 level, I could just have a really hard time seeing that break. But in the same thought, 4 figures, I mean, that's going to spook everyone. You know, that's going to spook people who aren't even in Bitcoin. My mom will call me. I heard Bitcoin is down. I love my mom, but yeah, she'll call me and be worried. So it's possible for sure. Let me counter argue this. So because I'm definitely not saying it's impossible. Let me counter argue this. So I'm looking at yours. You don't even really use the chart much. We look at this top, and this is such a simple argument. Anyone can really understand this. We look at this top here. This doesn't resemble anything. And does Bitcoin have to resemble itself in the past? No. You know,
No.
In fact, I would argue every cycle expects something that's never happened before that scares you to happen. Probably. Like 2020. I love it. It's just such a good recent example. COVID crash. No one expected going back to 3K. It happened. Never had done that. You know, we never had seen something like that in history. But this is just not a blow off top. There's no blow off. The blow off top 2017, which I liked on your metric there, with the whale wallets and the retail wallets, that wallet death cross happened right at right at the blow off top. It was like right at 10K, right? Where those two lines crossed.
Yeah.
To me, maybe we'll see something new. I don't like to bet on something new because you're betting on just, I don't know, nothing. But every top, I'd expect to see 100% move in a very quick amount of time, no pullbacks, and that's the end. Like that's the euphoria bait. I don't think we saw enough euphoria. It was really getting there. It was really getting there in January. We were really getting a lot of excitement. But that pullback pretty much killed it. And I don't know if you saw it in your metrics, but I see it in mine. We had an explosion of views, an explosion of subscribers, of everything from November, or maybe, about November to, I want to say January was a peak of it. And it was the biggest peak for me. And after that pullback, it just fizzled out. Yes, it did pick up a little bit in February, but for having a new all-time high, it was like nothing. It didn't ever return to the peak in January of, let's just say, engagement. It never returned. So I just don't know. Is that a blow off top? Like, this is a kind of a rounded top. It is ugly as anything, but this is nothing like we've seen in the past end a bull run. You know,
I've been describing it as a stealth top. Like you said, it did not have the blow off top. Everybody was looking for a blow off top, and I wonder. And this is not like me proudly stating this. I just don't know. But I'm flipping a coin here and saying, what if this is the market evolving in a way?
Yeah. I mean, that's what everyone's looking for in this cycle, I think. Oh God, we just jinxed it. Oh God, now it's not happening. But we're looking for some kind of maturity or some kind of growth. And it's funny that I say that because even in the last 6 months, Bitcoin has had more growth and maturity than it's ever had, probably in all of the time before it combined. Like institutionally, nationally, just huge concepts that even 2 years ago would have been a pipe dream, right?
Right.
But we're looking for chart growth, meaning to act differently. And a lot of people are saying super cycle, something like that as to define that.
Yeah.
But it could be anything, like maybe we trade sideways for the summer or something, and then we go back to what we saw in like January, February with like a new high, and then we have kind of like the unsatisfying higher highs. And then we drop again, and we just repeat. So we would see almost like smaller bull cycles and smaller bear cycles. Kind of like less growth, but also less retracement. And we get, I guess, just less volatility overall. I think that's what people have been looking for. That's how I would describe it then. I don't know. I until we see it, I don't know how we would use it to trade is kind of my reasoning is. I always use what we've seen in the past because it's something to base off of. But then we think, oh, this growth, we're going to see things different in the chart. It's, how do we define it, And this isn't at you. This is just at everyone kind of in our thoughts of it. Is how do we define it's new or we're seeing something different?
Because we've watched it at this 30 to 40 range for how many weeks now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're in our 8th week.
Yep.
8th week of 30 to 40.
Oh, brother, I know it. We know it. It's been hard to stream and come back on, and people say, "What is going? Are we mooning? Are we dumping?" And it's like, man, it's been 6 weeks, and there's just nothing to tell you that's new. It's like we're still here.
Yeah.
We're still here. The chart isn't gonna like all of a sudden like wink at us and be like, "Hey, buddy,
here we go."
We're at the same price, but like, let me tell you, we're going new all-time high tomorrow." Like. Yeah.
Give you some alpha that you didn't have before.
It's really just a wait.
The only thing I have on like lower time frames, like on the 4 hour or whatever, is this little. We had this uptrend that was being really well respected, and then we had the breakdown last night and kind of the retest today. So this is what I have my eye on. I think if we re-break back above it, you'll see some pretty good move to the upside. Like I think we'll see the channel highs. We'll see 40, 41. But otherwise, to me, this looks like it could be pretty ugly.
Right here.
So got to get back above that.
I'll share a chart with you that I made. and I'll apologize to your crowd because this is very colorful and this had multiple uses over time. So this had multiple uses, and I don't want to delete it. But basically, I mean, I'm seeing what you're seeing. We had 1, 2, 3 higher lows, and then we kind of just came back, tickled it. On mine, it's showing that we're above it. Is your chart on Coinbase or is it on something else?
It's exponential as well. Hold on, let me see. Wait, do you have log on or no?
Always.
Yeah, you do.
I don't use I really don't use non-log.
I am on Bitstamp, but not for any other reason.
Hey, Bitstamp, if you're not going to use Coinbase, Bitstamp would be my next go-to. You know, I don't know why people don't use spot exchanges. Interesting. So on Coinbase, for me, I'm gonna just get rid of this and I'm just gonna copy it because there's too much on here. This was not intended any longer for streaming. It was personal. Chart. Okay. So I think it was on the 12-hour. Was it 12-hour that this worked out really well? Yeah. So on the 12-hour, it was perfect. These lows. Okay. It was higher low, higher low, higher low. But then when you went to a smaller time frame, I don't think they worked out as well. Now you see that you didn't actually touch it the third time, which was interesting. I don't know really if that matters or not, just an observation. But according to Coinbase, we are back on that trend. So I'd like to see the daily obviously close above it. I'd like to see the daily close above it because I think you're probably looking at this too. This doesn't look bad. This doesn't look bad if we can close back in here. Then it actually looks pretty decent. And I just threw a line on there. It's not exact. But we just see essentially like a resistance being tested over and over and over again, and we see our lows coming up. I mean, that's a good pattern.
And the, let's see, this 4-hour 20 EMA has been really important to me because it seems like anytime price is being walked up or down, like for example, hold on, let me show my chart. Okay, so on the way down, when we went from range highs to lows and made new lows, for the range, once we got under the 4-hour 20, we never got back up until it was time for this kind of recent quasi uptrend, whatever you want to call this mess. So if price can, number one, get back above that diagonal, and then number two, get above the 4-hour 20 and start using that, kind of angle it up and using it as support for every kind of dip buy, I think, we'll get right back to that channel high. But otherwise,
gotta love your channel highs. Gotta love them.
Gotta love them. Everybody loves channel highs.
Yeah.
I'm back on the bull bus, by the way, for the cycle and everything.
I'm shorting now. Oh, never mind. I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm not there yet. We got to get up to 43, 44, because there's been no instance that I can find where we have had picture perfect Wyckoff distribution, broken down from it, and then got back into it. Like, there's been no situation where we got back into it and then nuked. You get back into it, it's new highs, 100K, everyone gets girlfriend and Lambos and the whole deal. But until then, it's just kind of chop until the market decides what it wants to do.
Yeah, I have a really hard time kind of going with the mega bearish take here. I don't even think you're saying the mega bearish take, maybe, but kind of just the fall. Like we see, we close below this trend line and it just like drops straight down.
Send it.
Where? Show me anywhere on a chart where that's happened, like in crypto, where we see some kind of consolidation and then just 90-degree angle. Like,
hang on.
On the daily, like on the time frame. I'll show you anything on the 2-second chart. I mean,
no, you're right.
It's like
I think
that's the way it lines up with that back test of the 20. Like, it could get cut short at 45-ish, especially if it trades sideways more. But I just have trouble seeing the market kind of just fall straight down from this consolidation. If I saw some kind of move to the upside that gets sold, I'm on team. This doesn't look good. Let's maybe reevaluate.
Speaking of the daily, this drop, like the drop from today.
Mm-hmm.
Dropped price back below the daily 20.
I know.
EMA.
We finally closed it. We finally closed above the SMA yesterday.
Yes.
Then we fell right back. I was so trolled. I'm so trolled.
I was like, oh, here we go. Nope. It's almost like if you see 1 to 2 days close above, maybe 3, like you should open a short if you're some kind of trader, like swing trader or whatever. But yeah,
I was not a fan. I liked yesterday's close was good, but not perfect. Because the weekly, man, it closed within what, like fraction of a percent of a bullish engulf, didn't it?
Yeah,
it got
was
faded.
close.
It got faded pretty harder than I thought. $200. That's not even 1%. So close to that good close.
You almost
But we
got it.
do have a solid weekly support here, so it wouldn't surprise me at all to see this week trade back to what, 34.5. This
I
is
was gonna say,
this low still a
Close it
higher
at
low.
34 You close it at 34.5. I'll probably go long, like add spot funds back in and go for it.
It's
Because
just
then you're building really nice
so
support all the way
clean.
across.
so clean. I don't trust it. It's too clean. But I don't
Too
know.
clean.
It's just so defined. I don't know. I hope we
Gotta
keep
get
this
that-
higher low. That's really what it is. Let's keep this higher low this week. Right. Let's keep
get
it.
that moving average rotating the other way.
Exactly. Wait. Oh, this is the EMA. Your EMAs are too bullish and too
Yeah.
bearish. That's why I don't like them. See, that's the difference.
So, what do you think most traders use? Just
Probably
like,
EMA.
I don't even know. Chat, maybe you guys know in Tom's chat or my chat. Like, when you just go set up a brand new trading view account and it pops up some default stuff, what is it? Is it SMA? Is it EMA? I have no idea. Do a poll. Ooh, mods.
I'm doing
Will
a
you
poll,
throw up
too.
poll? Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Brilliant. We got 402 watching. Welcome, everybody. Good to have you. We have by the way, because people have come and gone this whole time. We started with like 100 viewers. I have like 400 something. We have crypt0jack on from Twitch. Go ahead and go follow him on Twitch. It's at crypt0jack with a 0. He's a great guy. We're having kind of just a banter, but he's on the bearish side for now. I'm on the bullish side for now. Well, I'm on the equally bullish side as I always am. And really smart guy. Been in crypto a long time. Great guy to chat with. Real quick, everybody, if you haven't yet, smash that like button. We only have 200 likes. Those are rookie numbers. We're much better than that. I believe in you guys. And join the Discord. Links pinned to the top of the chat. Just wanted to get at least one of those out. Oh, and subscribe. Subscribe to both of us. Subscribe to Jack. Subscribe to me. Do a little back and forth. Whatever you'd like.
I threw on. I don't think you saw me. I threw on a bear mask.
Oh, you did? No, I don't see your image. We couldn't figure that out. We're not tech savvy enough to like really. Next time though, we'll have to do this again soon too. Because this was nice. It's better than streaming alone. It's lonely.
Yeah, it was fun. My voice likes it. My throat's usually killing me by the end
Oh,
of it.
dude, yeah. I lose my voice almost every episode.
Okay, so real quick, because I know both of us need to go here in like 15, 20 minutes or something. But
Yeah.
tell me this: do you look at anything in traditional markets? Is there anything that you look at as some kind of edge? Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I like Grayscale, or, I actually look at Coin, like the Coinbase IPO. And some people are like, oh, I look at the Dixie or whatever. Is there something that you prefer? It's like your favorite go-to that maybe people don't really know about.
So I've gone through all of them. Everything you just named. I've spent time watching it, being convinced they were correlated. And every time I do this, it ends up disappointing me. I'm not sure if Bitcoin is correlated to anything. I've heard every argument for everything. Logically, the dollar, even if it isn't, I don't know, an organic correlation, logically, if a dollar is stronger, should be able to buy more Bitcoin, which means Bitcoin dollar value would go down. Or if it's weaker, it should be able to buy less, which, just fundamentally in that relationship, it just doesn't seem to hold. But what I have noticed is Bitcoin will always take advantage of any other market's panic. No matter what's happening on any market, if it dumps Bitcoin, it tends to have a red candle of some kind, right? I don't know.
Right.
But the peg
Agreed.
doesn't stay. It doesn't, the dollar, there's times where it runs really cleanly against the Dixie, and then it just doesn't. And then it's just totally not, it's running with the Dixie then all of a sudden. I wish I had a good answer. I think, do you know when Grayscale's premium went negative? That I'm curious about because I kind of forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Near
When
the
did
top,
that happen?
During the top.
Yeah.
So if you actually Google, it's
pull it
like grayscale premium to nav, I think. And there's some Y charts. Yeah, here we go. It's first response for me. I can't go back far enough. Chad, do you guys know?
You can just put like your cursor there, though. You see where it flips.
Yeah, you're right. So was that February? Late February? And that
was like at the high, at like the under 60K high. So that's not a good fit really either. But it's been negative since. So it's like maybe if it flips positive, then, you know, while it rallies, then it's a good correlation.
Sure.
But the problem is it just never seems to stay correlated. It just mimics it. I swear. It mimics it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, so here's a question then. Okay, so forget the indicators themselves. What about, let's say we all wake up in the morning and the U.S. announces a new $10 trillion stimulus package. What's your play?
What's my play? Well, dude, I'll probably still have all my spot. My play will probably just be to like smile. But I would say stimulus in general, inflation in general, that goes back to what I was saying about the dollar. It should have a correlation, obviously. Free money does have a way of finding its way to Bitcoin or crypto, for sure. But the short term, is there a play short term? I really usually say something like this. News that really isn't important tends to have a short-term impact on Bitcoin. So like Elon Musk tweeting back then. Instantly we saw, that was back in February-ish, right? January, the end. We saw that Elon candle. Just went up and then, sold right back down.
Yeah, I remember that. Because I remember being like, what in the hell just happened?
Same. I was like, what is actually happening? This is gibberish.
Oh, wait, what? Yeah.
But you'll find that is kind of Bitcoin's MO. When news doesn't
20%.
matter, it tends to respond kind of right away, and then it retraces, whether that's the upside or downside. Goes up, retraces, goes down, retraces back. When news is really big, like El Salvador declare, voting and passing Bitcoin as legal currency, nothing. Because big things don't have a short-term impact on the chart. At least that's the way I see it. I think they're built in a bigger picture.
I agree with that.
So I guess counter trade the move on the short term, not important. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. I was just gonna say the poll finished and EMA. There's only 11 votes for EMA, 7 for SMA. You guys suck at voting on polls.
Guys, we have 400 viewers. More people vote. Just click one of those buttons. My chat hates democracy. They don't like to vote. I know, it's ridiculous.
Tell us what to use, Dad. We'll do it.
EMA is winning on ours too, though. So I think that's right. Whenever, honestly, I'm sure it's EMA. Because when I tell people MA, half the time or more, they end up EMA. Like, they end up using EMA or thinking I'm saying EMA. So I think that's probably accurate. I think it's probably accurate. We have 123. We only have 20%. Yeah. EMA wins.
Okay, we had 18 votes out of 250 people. So good job, Twitch.
Why do viewers hate democracy? Next topic.
Way to represent. That was great.
Do you hate freedom? Why do you hate freedom so much? Could you tell?
Oh, man. All right, well, Tom, anything else we want to cover?
I don't know, dude. Not really. It's good to chat. This is actually, you guys, our first time we've spoken on voice, right? Mm-hmm. We've messaged, but this is the first time we've interacted. Very natural, man. I feel like, just talking to an old friend.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I felt the same.
Good. We'll do this again.
Sounds good, man. Well, chat, be sure to check out Tom and hit him up. He is live way more frequently than me. So if you're looking for a friendly face, go check him out. I'm only 3 times a week. Tom, at least in your heyday, you were every day. What are you doing now? Well,
dude, we are very market dependent. The last 6 weeks, man, I have just been trying to recover from the burnout that was November through May. So when are we live? At the beginning of every month, we're live a bunch of days in a row. And then we pretty much play it by ear. I would say it's certainly 3 times a week, 2 times a week minimum. Okay. But if it's hot again and the hype's back, man, we'll be live again every day again.
Yeah. And I remember seeing your notices pop up. I'm stuck at work, there's a crazy market event or something, and I can't do anything about it, and I see you go live and you're covering it. So that's another good thing to look for, guys. If you're looking for somebody to, go kind of get the lowdown on what's going on. Is it real? Is it not? Whatever. There you go. Go
Dude,
check them out.
My chat has loved this. Yeah, guys, you loved it. Go subscribe to Jack, man. He has a different take than me, but he's someone who, you guys know I don't say this a lot of people, about a lot of people, that I genuinely think knows what they're talking about. And I learned that through listening to him, but also talking to him personally. He's on Twitch, crypt0jack. Dude, you have to find a way to get that 0 out of your name. You got to.
I know, dude.
It's so bad for branding. Oh. But crypt0jack with a 0, remember it.
Apparently there's a crypto, like all just letters with no numbers or anything. There's a crypt0jack that is a dead account. And if I get big enough or over a long enough time or something, they'll give it to me. They'll give me that dead account.
You're Twitch partnered, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't you have a manager or something that you can...
No, I don't get shit, dude. They're just like, yeah, whatever, dude. I think I don't stream enough, like often enough for them to take me serious. And plus I'm in the crypto section. So we're like the redheaded stepchildren just in the closet, under the stairs. So whatever.
Yeah. Well, dude, mad props to you. I tried streaming on Twitch when we had issues on YouTube and I couldn't do it, man. So respect. You did it. You did it.
No, I appreciate it.
It's great to see you grow.
Okay. Thanks, man. And you were a big part of that. So again, I appreciate you. Chat, I put Tom's direct link for YouTube in the chat. So be sure to check him out. Tom, I'm going to go ahead and in Discord and say a couple final things to my guys.
Sure, man.
But I guess for your guys, just so you know, I'm live Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday at 8:30 Central, live on Twitch. And I do my best to be like clockwork, be there every time. So anyway, I appreciate you all. Tom, big thanks to you. This was great. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. I sent your link out there. Hopefully you get some follows. Hopefully.
Yeah, thank you.
Right on,
I
man.
see him flowing in. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Great. All right, brother. Well, I will catch you soon. We'll do this again.
All right. You got it, man. Take care. Have a
See
good
you, Jack.
one. Later. All right, chat.
I think we still got him then. Bloop. All right. Sweet. We did a bunch of weird OBS stuff to make that possible. We're going to have to figure out a better way to do that. Why can I find... There it is. Boom. All right, cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really do like Jack. I found him on Twitch maybe a year ago. It was before the market got real hot, real bullish, real popular. And he was streaming to, I remember it was like single digits. It was nobody. This is not a negative, man. This is not a negative against Jack. And I just, I was a streamer myself, and I was kind of just leaving that point of having basically no one watching. And so I opened it up, popped it up, and I'd done this before in the past. And every single time, it was gibberish that I would find. People just, I don't know what they were doing or what they were saying, but they were trying to do some kind of TA, and it just wasn't TA. And I tuned into this guy, and right away, I was like, oh, he's got something going on. And so I started asking him questions, and it was really a test. I said that, he thought I was joking. It really was a test, because I wanted to see if he actually knew what he was talking about, or if he was just another one of those. And the dude gave me great answers. Not necessarily the answers I would give or something, but the answers were quality. And I was like, this person, I could tell instantly. The first time I was on his channel, I could tell that he had been in crypto a long time. He had, like, at least as long as me, maybe longer. He has a grip over trading. He has a grip over market dynamics. And so I just kind of popped in every once in a while and hyped him up. And man, he has grown a ton. I'm so happy for him. It's just great. It's heartwarming. It really warms my heart. But anyway, we'll do that again. That was a great time. And it's nice because he's bearish now, and I'm Tom Crown. I'm not even going to say I'm bullish or bearish. I'm Tom Crown. And it's just good because we can have a back and forth, and maybe we should do that regularly. That'd be cool. Because that way we could have two analysts on the same stream, and we'll figure out a way to make it much more visually pleasing. Kind of giving the take of bear, giving the take of bull. I think that'd be really cool. That'd be really sweet. But let me see. Let me check this chat quick. I haven't read it at all this entire time. I saw Carson J popped in. I don't know if he said anything else. Maybe somebody could help. Somebody who was watching could let me know if he said anything, because there was no message on the super chat. And YouTube keeps telling me I have no super chats. But yeah, I'll just check the chat out here quick. Basically gonna wrap up because I got dinner with my mom for 5th of July dinner. 5th of July. Remy, what's up, man? Michael P, good to have you back. Mama Jedi, my favorite Jedi mama out there. How you doing, darling? I'll always be your favorite. Oh. Yeah, Ruben Zavala Jr. Dude, we did that totally unscripted. We did it with, like, last minute. We were supposed to do it yesterday, then we both realized it was the 4th of July. And then we did it kind of like last minute thrown together this time. So when he's back on, when we do another collab, it'll be much cleaner. Much cleaner. We'll have some kind of topics to pick from, but I thought that actually was a really good back and forth just off the top of our heads. We had zero planning. Like, we literally were figuring out how to get, like, the audio and whatnot seconds before I went live, and it happened. So what's up, Vesemir? Tom G. It's good to have you guys here. My experience with Twitch, I love Twitch. Great platform. It just doesn't have the traffic, doesn't have the flow that YouTube does. And so YouTube is our home. We're going to stay here on YouTube forever. As long as they'll have us anyway. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. God, these bots in the messages are out of freaking control. In the comments on the old videos, man, I get alerts all day of these accounts. Why can they have the same channel name as me and use the same icon? It's so silly. Obviously, it's all scams. Yes, anybody who asks you to contact them via WhatsApp is probably scamming. WhatsApp, probably scamming. Let's be real. In crypto, 100% of the time. Oh, geez. And the problem is they don't just do one. They, like, shotgun your videos. You'll get one alert, and there'll be, like, 10 comments across, like, 10 videos. It's really annoying. Why not stream to both? Who knows? My Twitch link is in the chat at the bottom, but it's just like a chart, just sits there. And that's really why, is because if I were to do my live streams there, then that chart would go down, and the 10 people who watch it would be upset. It's something to consider. I've thought about it. I've thought about it in the past. We'll see. Let's see. But anyway, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're in the Discord, like the new stream. We're going to be live again tomorrow. Don't worry. So I hope you join us again. Yeah, nothing really is happening. So enjoy the 5th. I hope you all had a great holiday, and I will catch you soon. Happy trades. Crown out.